The biggest thing for me is in those times of turmoil, I know in training, I've got through these things on my own. And so when it's crunch time, it's only you to get through it. And obviously the team is going to help you, but not in those really hard parts. I think if you can choose to do something that makes you uncomfortable in your day, when you make the decision to do it, you're like, geez, this is impacting my day. It will always be for good. It will always benefit you. Because I made that decision, you can't do anything but do what you said. And so when they're accumulating over time, with every decision you make, that adds up. And so when you're doing the hard thing, you go for your first ever marathon, it's like you should be so hard on your word and so hard on these things that when it comes crunch time, you've been so true to sticking to it that it's just a matter of doing it.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of PUMA's new podcast series, Go Wild. And it's the show where we dive into the lifestyles of some of our legends in sport and culture. I'm Colin Jackson, and I'm hosting you today. And I am so excited because we've got Nedd Brockmann with us today. Nedd, we're going to dive into you really, really quickly because you don't stop. So I have to get into there really early in that sense. Nedd, it's a huge pleasure to have you here, and I'm looking forward to spending some time chatting with you.
I can't wait, mate. I'm honoured to be sitting across from you, so can't wait to do it.
Thank you. Well, if people do not know, your background is incredible. Starting off as an electrician.
Yep.
And then, literally, went from there. Things just sparked their way through.
Nice, I like that.
Did you like that one?
Yeah,
I thought you'd appreciate that. No, tell us about a little bit in the beginning of your life there to get to where you are today.
Well, thank you for those words, mate. You're an incredible human being yourself, so I don't take that very lightly. But yeah, I guess the electrician thing for me was just a part of, I guess it was a chapter in my life. I was doing the Sparky thing because it was the right thing to do. Get out of school, do a trade, and yeah, at the time of me doing my trade, I was kind of dabbling in, running and trying to see what I was capable of in that space. And then I guess it just evolved really, really quickly. And over the space of, I was never really a runner at school. I didn't run as a kid. I just partook in cross country and the athletics carnivals, but I definitely wasn't raised as an athlete, so to speak. And yeah, I kind of just, the running kind of just took off through, around 2020, just before 2019. And it was more about how far I could run each day as opposed to, or like how much further I could get each day. And yeah, I guess it just snowballed, and I've run across the country now. I've done 1,000 miles around the track, and yeah, who knows what's next?
Well, I'm smiling here, right? Because believe it or not, I trained as an electrician as well.
No way.
Yeah.
There you go. Respect to the tradies. Respect to the tradies.
That's where I similarities stop, because I can't do any running. Well, talk to me first of all about running across Australia.
Yep. Where do I begin? I can start in Perth, I guess.
Yeah. Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, kind of.
So where did it come from? Where did the,
Yeah, it was just a bit of an idea. So prior to that, I ran the marathon distance. I did 50 marathons in 50 days, the marathon distance, not official marathons, but ran 42K every day after work. I kind of made this big idea up that I could run 50 marathons, 50 days while working full time. And when I did that, I was thinking, well, if I'm working on the tools for 8-9 hours a day and then running 42K in the afternoon, there's 8 or 9 hours a day I could be running. So on top of the 42, I could get maybe 100K a day. Surely if I just tough it out, I'll be fine. And so, yeah, that crazy idea kind of evolved, and I was like, well, actually that could probably happen. And I think, there's probably a lot of reasons why I was, there would have been reasons to not do it and all these things, but our time here is so finite, and it was an exciting idea at the time, and I went, let's just do it. Well, what's the worst that can happen? And I worked with an amazing team to make it kind of bring it to life, get partnerships, and that's where the PUMA connection came on board. And yeah, it meant we were able to do the run and fund it. And then off the back of that, I wanted to raise a lot of money for homelessness as well, which we ended up doing, which was really cool. But yeah, it kind of just, again, snowballed and became this thing. And so, yeah, fast forward to August 31st, 2022.
Yep.
I started at 5 a.m. in Cottesloe, and I guess the rest is history. I averaged about 89K a day at that point, but I'd only really been running for a year and a half up to that point.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was in the ultra endurance space. It's definitely for those who've been around for a while. The people who take on those big events have, got countless hours, years under their legs. And so, yeah, for me to take that on, the compromise I had to make was that I was going to damage my body and push myself through places I never thought was possible. So I'm very grateful I did. But yeah, it just means I have a bit more wear and tear than those who do it the natural way, I guess.
Did you have anybody in your team sometimes going to you, are you sure you're doing the right thing here, mate? I mean, like, it's going to hurt.
Prior to it, maybe, but not when we're in it.
Because you're in it?
Yeah, it's very hard to tell me otherwise when I'm in it. And if you do, I'm going to probably turn at you and go, why are you here then?
Yeah.
Once I've made that decision we're on, then whoever I bring in on my team, it's like, this is the job. This is what we're doing. And if you don't agree, then you're not needed. Yeah. And that's what's amazing about all my team. It's like my mum, my dad, I have them really close, and they say don't use your family members as crew, but I think it's actually quite a special thing to go through those really hard moments and have these memories with the people you love the most. It's really special.
How difficult it is to choose a bunch of training partners who are like-minded and can energize you enough to take on challenges like this?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm a very I'm a lone soldier in that regard. I would say majority of my training is very solitude, alone, me time. And so when it does get tough, I'm not relying on someone to pull me out of that. I'm relying on myself. So yeah, again with the running world, I'm probably not in the traditional sense a runner. I'm very much a lone wolf in that regard. And so it's been really cool to see and not kind of follow any rules with it. It's just been like, this feels right, I'm doing this. And the biggest thing for me is in those times of turmoil, I know in training, I've got through these things on my own. And so when it's crunch time, it's you, it's only you to get through it. And obviously the team is going to help you, but not in those really hard parts.
And then not flipping really, but adding to that same story, because if you have like charities in mind that you want to support, are they also a driving factor for you to go, do you know what, I can't quit because I'm doing it for these guys?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it doesn't change the outcome. I don't think having that there is enough of a reason to make you keep going. I think you have to be true to your word. And when you make a decision, I think the biggest thing for me is my emphasis on decision making to cut off any other options. You could tell me I'll get this or get that at the end, and it wouldn't matter because that'll never be enough to get you through. I think it's coming down to those little tiny decisions every single day. And so when you're in the big one, it doesn't really matter. I really do. Obviously, I'm doing this for charity for homelessness, and it's something I care about a lot. But I think it's a two-parter. It's I do this so this can benefit from it. It's not this is my why. This is the only reason I'll keep going, because I think that will be a really hard thing to keep showing up, because it will get hard out there.
If you just started in relative terms, because we touched that, you said in relative terms of ultra running.
Yep.
You're a baby.
Definitely.
Right,
Yeah.
in a sense. And so where did this mindset come from that you didn't see in yourself before?
It's a great question. Whether it be, I think there's a few reasons. I think my mum and my dad was very much a man of action, not of words. So to lead by example, not lead by saying, do this, guys. And I probably took that on without really knowing I took that on. And then my mum just having a lot of integrity and saying, if you're going to do this, you do it. And if you did something wrong, you know about it. If you do something right, you'll know about it. Being just very hard on the commitment to a decision, I think. And if she said, I'm going to smack you for doing the wrong thing, and we did the wrrong thing, you sure as shit know there's a smack coming. And I think it all boils down to that. It truly does. Because had she not smacked us when she said she was going to, we'd go, well, word means nothing.
Yeah.
That is one. And then I think by throwing myself in the deep end of these things, these big events, these really hard times, the things you learn, the things you find out about yourself, the adaptations you apply to that, all those things, I think sparks is interesting to be like, well, what's next? And what's this thing? And what's this? So I think it's a culmination of those. And maybe at school, I had a few moments where I, wasn't picked in this team, wasn't picked in this sport or whatever it was. And maybe I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder to prove something, but that very much came old because that's not, again, enough of a driver to keep you going. So yeah, I think it's a lot of sliding doors and moments, and I've just ended up getting to that point where that's kind of the thing I find is so that drives me. Yeah,
Is running easy there?
running is incredibly hard, but it's incredibly powerful, and I don't think easy would be able to, like, easy or hard wouldn't be able to explain it. You know, I think it's a incredibly spiritual thing. I think it's primal. In the same way kind of fighting is, you know, we fought back in the day, and I think running is the other form of that. It's like most people can head out the door and run, like, and feel alive. And so, yeah, being able to make it hard or being able to go for an easy run, all those things I love. That's what I love about it. I just see running as a thing, not as a thing to go, this is good or bad. It's just is what it is, and head out the door, go enjoy it or don't, but go run.
So
what do you think? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I was thinking about what does running mean to me? And I use it as a luxury. I tell people that there's so many people who can't run.
Yeah.
And the situation's been robbed from them, accidents, in chairs, etc., etc. And I think that I'm really very blessed that I have the opportunity to just run.
Yeah, it's a great way to see it.
So yeah, I generally think I'm always blessed when I can just do that.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is a privilege, and like you only know. I feel like you feel that when you're injured or you're just how freeing it is to be able to go and run. I guess I'm probably convoluted that what I was trying to say a bit there. I think for me, it's like it was never good nor bad. It was just is what it is.
It is what it is.
So a lot of people asked post my Oz run, like, did it ruin your almost relationship with running?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it didn't change it at all because I didn't go into it loving it or hating it. It just was the vessel for me to feel uncomfortable, do good in the world, and make the most of my time here. So whether it's good or bad, it's irrelevant because it doesn't really dictate it. You just get out and do it. Yeah.
It's done. What part of your body was the most wrecked when you finished? Feet, back, hips, neck?
You know what? My brain.
Ooh, nice.
My brain. They're all byproducts of the punishment I poured on myself, and they always are. Whether it's the next big thing I do, it'll always be the cost of doing business. But the brain, the immense turmoil, and it's a choice. I choose to do these things. So I don't want to be like, oh, Paul me or anything. But when you throw yourself into it and there is no other way out than to go through and finish, I think that brings a lot of, whether it's trauma or a lot of, you're in a very like fight or flight situation constantly until you're done. So I think that is quite traumatic and quite pressing on you. So my brain has copped it. I think I always give myself twice as long as the event for my brain to come good. And it was actually about 4 times as much after this 1,000-mile run. I probably because of the almost psychosis of the looping.
Yeah.
And just like the monotony and the insane boredom. Just stuff with my brain a lot. But we're back. We're back.
Yeah. I always giggle because, coming from the world of sprints, I'm always like, how long we gonna go for? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it would be, the brain would fry me. That's the thing that would really, so I had huge admiration to middle, long distance runs and ultra distance runs because the brain is one of the things you've got to try and train.
Yeah.
In a bizarre way.
You'll never conquer it.
But you can't.
No. But that's what's so cool about it. It's a work in progress till the day we die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back now. You think of what you've done now. If you were looking at the 10-year-old self, would you ever have believed that you'd be in the position you're in today when you were 10?
Probably, no, not as a 10-year-old, no. Nor probably as a 20-year-old. But I think that's what's cool is I didn't put there was never any, and from my family as well, any pressure to be anything. But there was also the care and love to do whatever it is you want. And so there was this always freedom. My dad definitely didn't. He was, born, you're going to be a farmer, you're going to do this is what you're going to do. My mum did as well. She had a bit more option, but my dad was very much that. It was like, and so for him, it was like, I want to give my kids an education. I want to give my kids what I didn't get. So for us having that was kind of like, well, you have this duty almost to go and find out. And so in that journey, as a 10-year-old kid, I had no idea what I was going to be. I thought I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a concreter. I don't know what I want to be. I want to be everything and anything.
You do want to be everything.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
didn't want to be a runner. I didn't know.
No.
I just ended up being a runner.
Yeah. And
I
here
was
we
good
are.
at it, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're young, and I was very envious of people who were saying, I want to be a journalist, I want to be a lawyer, I want to...
Yeah.
I thought, I never had that.
Yeah.
I never had that.
Which is interesting. And a lot of people do go into it. They know from an early age this is what I'm going to do. They end up doing it for the rest of their life, and that's incredible, and they love it. And it's just everyone's journey is so different. Like, who knows? And who knows, in 5 years' time, something might happen and I just want to do this and go completely left of field and turn into something else. Like, I just don't know. So
I was giggling to myself when we are talking about that running side. I was thinking, you know, for all the charity things that you do, there's got to be easier things than running. Surely to get all that money to make a difference. Well, but you chose running.
I'm sure
Some
there is,
choose running.
but I don't think people, like, you know, if you go say I'm going to go do a 5K park run, go donate your hard-earned money to my cause because you should. I think people aren't going to, they're like, well, why would I donate to you when I can donate to them doing their 10K park run? And so part of me is like, well, if I am doing something outrageous and maybe something I'm not even, you wouldn't deem possible, or I shouldn't be doing it, taking it on. And then when you do it, you take it on. And people go, oh, this person has just defied what everyone else has said and has still thrown themselves in the ring, in the arena, and has continued to show up each day. I think that then goes, well, you know what? I'm going to donate. I'm going to, because even if they're not affected directly by homelessness, it actually isn't something that's been on their brain. They still go, well, it's important to this person who is inspiring me. So I, in turn, will donate my hard-earned because I am inspired.
When you talk about the things you did running across Australia, there was no time for that. You just finished it, right? In that sense, you knew you were going to get to the end. But when you're going to take on a marathon and you see times, do you go into it a different mindset, thinking, "I'm great today, and this is my personal best, but I'm going to nail something else a little bit later."
Well, this is interesting. You asked this. I did London Marathon. Yeah, my personal best. You know, I did it 4 years ago in the Gold Coast in Australia, and I ran a 2:57. I didn't really train for it at all. I was building for my run across Australia. I did the half marathon the day before that, and I really have only ever done one fast running training block, which was the last 12 weeks, which was a bit hiccupy, and I was like, I'd love to go at 2:29:59. That would be my goal. And yeah, pulled in at 2:30:06. So I was pretty close. It was a hard day out there. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool to put yourself out there and say you're going to do this, and yeah, toe the line with 60,000 other people out there. And it was a special, special day, but it definitely lit a fire in me to want to have a go at these, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Considering the like, it's a 27-minute PB. So I'm like, if I'm on that trajectory, I'll be an hour 20 and for a marathon soon. 3 more and I'm there.
Yeah, I'll be your agent.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to come down to Australia quite a bit to train. In Sydney, I used to stay in Manly, and I used to train in Narrabeen.
I had the sports center.
Yeah, so there's a training there. And I used to spend a lot of time with some of the beaches there. And I think Balmoral Beach up in my Mosman area was there, I kind of like the most. And when I was just hanging out there, I used to get the vibe, because you're just there, people watching, right? It's not a visitor, right? You're just people watching. And the thing that I observed about the Australians is that they loved being outdoors. They truly appreciated what was around them.
Yeah.
And I think lots of the times when I walk around here, I think people really appreciate what's around them. You think that's a true statement from your nation?
Yeah, definitely Australia, I think. And it's now with running, like, it is, you know, you go Saturday morning in Centennial Park in Sydney, it is the busiest. It's like a freaking nightclub. It's just a big one, and people are just running. Like, it is so cool. And the beaches, you can hardly walk along the coast on a weekend. There's an energy, there's a buzz for sure.
Being an inspiration, there'll be lots of people who look up to you, admire you for what you've achieved, because it's been incredible. It's been incredible whole story, trajectory. And how do you feel about that?
I've just stayed true to me since the get-go. So if that's what is coming of it, it doesn't change anything for me. And I think people can let that change them. And for me, it's like, it's great to have that, but that was never the intention. The intention was to do it and do it authentically, Nedd Brockmann. And if that gets eyes, if that inspires, if that doesn't inspire, that's okay, because I'm doing me and never changing from that. And so you don't do it, but I think it's your duty then to continue to be yourself if that is what is inspiring people. So yeah, it's really cool. And having kids come up to me going, Nedd, can I get a photo? Or people saying, you know, I read your book, I did this. I took this on because of you. That is always blows my mind, that I never ever take it for granted. And if someone comes up to me and you know, I'll always give them my time, because it's, you know, whatever part, a tiny little part in their life I've played, I'm more than willing to give back to them as well. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. It definitely changed when I landed in Bondi. I went from being completely unknown to somewhat this like moment in Bondi that, you know, the hair's recognizable now. I get pulled up in Woolies or in the supermarket. And so I just guess it just changes it now. It's like I've got to head out the door and know I'm on show, as opposed to, it's been nice here. I'm very not recognised here, so that was great. It's been really nice.
You are, so it's all
no. No, but yeah, it's been a cool journey, and I'm still evolving with it all. Like we're not meant to know how to deal with that. I think it's such a new thing being known. And
there's no university degree that you can get.
No, there's no book you can read really, because even the people who are going through it or have gone through it, it's only really been the last 50 years when we've had, whether it be TV or radio or whatever. So yeah, I think when if it comes back to being true to yourself and being a good person, it'll always end up working well. So yeah.
You mentioned your book.
Yep.
There. What was the foundation for it?
Yeah, I think I wanted to regurgitate the things that I felt on that Oz run, and needed to probably have a bit of time to break it down, because it was a intense, traumatic, powerful 46 days that I felt we should extrapolate out of my brain. And so that's what we did. And then, you know, added a lot of my childhood and my lessons through other things. Not lessons, but my experiences, and people can adapt them to that. So yeah, the kind of point was it was quite cathartic getting it out and working with some people to write it. So yeah, it's been really cool.
One of the things I always say is that when doing this, you know, hosting the podcast, is that you talk about the wildest of the wild. People on that wild side. I mean, you just are so that. Incredible what you've achieved, what you do. But do you feel like that's a little bit wild? That's out there, or do you just go, well, it's just me? Because not many people do what you do, or take on challenges the way you do.
It's a good question. I think my understanding of our very small amount of time here, and the ever diminishing window of things I'm able to do, is every single day it keeps closing. And whenever I have this idea of doing this or taking on this or trying this, it's never just idea. It's always like, well, is that a possibility? Let's go. And so it doesn't really matter if I think it's wild or not, because it's just what's going on in my head. And so the action and the doing of the things is just net. And so yeah, it's weird that it's now like running. It's weird that that's my kind of life. You know, I've been able to make it my life. I get to travel around the world and come here and speak to you and meet amazing people like you, and doing these, like, you know, getting in the London Marathon and doing this and you know, 500 plus people screaming my name as I'm running down that thing. I'm like, what is going on? Because again, it's never the intention. Yeah. So the fact that it's all a byproduct of this all has been really cool. But
it's a good byproduct, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It is a really good
never
byproduct.
ever wish it away.
Celebrated that sense. Well, I've got a couple of quick fire questions for
Let's
you.
do it.
Right? Oh, you should sound with enthusiasm.
I might do them back to you after.
All right, here we go. If you had to sum up your philosophy in a sentence, what would it be? How would you describe it in one sentence?
Live, give, get uncomfortable. So make the most of each day, give more than you take, and get uncomfortable every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm pondering about that. I'm loving to live. I'm happy to give. It's the uncomfortable I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
I could put a pair of tight trousers on, I guess. This is a good one. How many toenails have you lost over your career, do you think?
Toenails. I'm pretty onto them. Like I keep them short. I don't, my career's very short, Colin. I don't think it's like.
If I play tennis the half hour, I lose 2.
I reckon I'm 10 toenails. It's always on a big event, right? It's always my big right one. It just ends up going. Don't know why it's that one, but it just always goes. And now it's pretty, my big right toenail
Is deformed.
well, it's just, it's like it's growing in a weird way. And it's not.
And you found no little magic trick, to cover it up to help it, or?
Nah, I just let it do its thing and keep getting more deformed. That's why I'm comfortable. Just keep dealing with that.
What's the ultimate hack to take you to the next level of endurance running?
I would say I keep coming back to this decision thing, and I think I've got to give a bit more emphasis because when I say it, it's make decisions, but it's when you cut off the other alternative and you live your life by that. And I mean, like, I make decisions to not use lifts. I have to use stairs. Yeah. And so I'll get in, even marathon morning, we call the underground, and there's 70 flights of stairs and everyone's using the escalator. My rule in my life is that I can't use either the lift or the escalator if there's stairs there. If the stairs aren't there and it's just the escalator, I have to run up them. And so that gets you in circumstances like the marathon morning where you're using your legs. But because I made that decision, you can't do anything but do what you said. And so when they're accumulating over time, with every decision you make, that adds up. And so when you're doing the hard thing, you go off your first ever marathon, it's like, you should be so hard on your word and so hard on these things that when it comes crunch time, you've been so true to sticking to it that it's just a matter of doing it. You just delete the options of anything else. Like they just become irrelevant because all you have is ahead of you. I think being so hard on that is like leaning on your why and all those things. I think you've got one foot out the door when you're leaning on your why. You go, oh, what's my why? If I just like be practical about it. How are we getting through this? Go forward. This is what we're doing.
What's the one piece of kit you never run without, aside from your shoes?
I was about to say, probably the shoes.
Yeah.
Geez, I'm pretty minimal. My underwear, like underwear, shorts. Usually I don't have a lid on. Probably my AirPods.
Okay. Yeah, because you need it.
I just like that. I mean, if I'm not going my shorts, I'm pretty minimal. Yeah, pretty minimal. If it's long, I have to, chafe.
Cream,
which I forgot to do yesterday. So now my underarms have been copped, but that's all right.
All right.
Done worse.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure you've gone through this. Yeah. What's your post-run guilty pleasure?
Laying around, kicking my feet up, doing nothing all day. In terms of food, I would say it's my chocolate milk. Best way to recover, mate. Best way to recover.
Okay, So, in a nutshell, after all that, and I'm exhausted just listening to all those stories there, what's next?
Hurdles.
Come on in.
What are you thinking? You gonna help me out?
I'm going, life is a hurdle, but yeah.
It is.
I
Life
can
is a hurdle.
definitely take
Have you used that one before? Life is a hurdle?
Yeah.
Teaching people?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, just them to know, it's an obstacle you've got to clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when you get to the finish line, don't think you finished.
It's always another hurdle.
There's always more to come.
Love it.
Nedd, it's been a real pleasure chatting with you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good man.
Thank you. Thanks.